And then we want to talk about the best discard you can put to your own crib. Now understand that you can't always put a good discard to your own crib. Don't struggle with it. Half the time you just throw the garbage that doesn't work. The other half the time you have some choices. But half of the time you just take the 2 cards that don't work and throw them. And we want to talk about the time where you have a choice, because the other half you do. If you're looking at what discard is the best, and if you look at this lesson 2.1, 2/1, the second page, you'll see exactly what I got on my flip chart here. You'll see a group of discards and grouped together in group 1. And these are discards that average 6 points or more. Now, I've thrown these hundreds of times. This is not done with a computer. This was done, and I didn't record the results with inferior players. I only recorded the results where I thought the person knew what they was doing in terms of discarding. I only did it with a person who gave me permission. So if you start making notes in a game, I think it's important that you do explain to your opponent what you're about. And if they say, well, yes, it would bother me, don't do it. If you want to do it, and they're agreeable, do it. So it took me 9 years to get $250,000. And what that showed was that the top discard, as I suspected, was a 5-5. If I really want to make my crib score, or my opponent's score, we're going to do discarding your opponent next week. I think I told you what happened to me the last 2 times I threw 5s to my opponent. I threw 2 5s to their crib. The one fella got a 23. The next one got a 28. That's 51 between the 2 cribs. I have not thrown them since. And by the way, the guy that got the 28 in the crib died a week later. And I often think it was the shock of that crib that did him in. So if you want to experiment with a pair of 5s, you just go right ahead. But I quit doing it long ago. Anyway, a pair of 5s to your own crib is worth 8.876. That's a little less than 9. What do you suppose it's worth to your opponent?
10.
Suppose it's worth more, huh? How come is that? Is it Murphy's Law? No, it's not
he's
Murphy's
baiting
Law.
his crib too.
How about I mean, you could look at 5-5, but how about 8-8? Does it do much good in your crib?
No.
No. 42% of the time it's worth 2 points. What happens when you put it on the other side of the board?
16.
Yeah. Something over 20, too. 20 and better. It's not Murphy's Law. It's not the cribbage goddess. It's preordained. The most frequent discard the dealer makes to his crib is 7-8. Not because it's the best, but because it doesn't work with anything else. He's got a 1-4 and 2 jacks and a 7-8. He's got a 2-3 and 2 kings and a 7-8. He's got a 1-1-2-3 and a 7-8. He's got a 2-2-3-4 and a 7-8. He's got a double run of face cards and a 7-8. So there's two middle cards on the table already when you decide to dump your 6-8, 7-7, 7-9, 8-8. There's 2 middle cards there already, a high percentage of the time. So the averages for your crib on all discards are less points than they are for your opponent. The discards that are bad to your own crib are worth fewer points. A 10 king to your own crib is really a dog. 10 king to your opponent is a low scoring discard, but it's worth about a point more over there than it is in yours. So it is necessary to know this difference. See, the dealer is likely to put 2 cards together, and the strongest possibility is there'll be 2 middle cards. 5 out of the top 10 are middle cards. And the next possibility is there'll be two small cards. 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4. So you take a chance on two middle cards, two small cards. Very often you're looking at a pretty sizable crib on the other side of the board. But don't expect to get more than one of them same kind of cards in your own. So if you put a pair of 8s to your own crib, your opponent is more likely, if, as cards are available, going to give you a king 9, a queen 9, a king 6, a queen 6, a 10 6, a jack 6. Hey, they're going to run out of a lot of possibilities before they give you the 7. So your 8s will be very lonely a lot of the time. But just because they're worth 2 on your side of the board, don't get careless and toss them on the other side, unless you're willing to give up a bunch. So second best discard in cribbage is what?
2, 3.
To your own crib?
2, 3.
2 and a 3. And by the way, it's also the second most frequent. 7, 8 is the most frequent discard by the dealer to the crib. 2, 3 is the second most. But the 7, 8 in average is way down, and the 2, 3 is in the same place. 2, 3 is very strong discard. It does score 2 points 4 times in 100. When somebody puts a king 6 in there, sometimes it's just 2. 2, 3. King 6 often kills the 2, 3. Anyway, so and then we go to the 5 face cards. 5 with a face card. 5 with a jack. You'd guess that would be the best. And would you guess that 5 king would come next? And 5 10 would be next? Or would you guess 5 queen next?
5, 10, because 10
5 10 would be next, because they're more likely to give you the king or the 10 than they are the queen. So of those 4, it's 5 jack, 5 king, 5 10, 5 queen. And then there's one in here that comes right after, and there's a separate paper in here. I want to go through that when we get to it. There's one that catches me by surprise, but it shouldn't. And that is the 5 6. It's not as good as the 2 3, but it's better than we think. And in fact, it has a higher average than does the 5 king, the 5 10, or the 5 queen. Slightly higher. The reason being that it connects with the face card in the 7, it connects with the face card in the 4, and without help of the starter card. So with the starter card, you end up with some 14s in the crib with the 5 6. Don't overlook it. Don't overlook the chance to put the 5 6 in your crib, even though it is worth 2 points twice as often as a deuce tray. It's not in the same league as a deuce tray, but it's a pretty strong discard. And you notice we haven't come to the 7 8 yet, have we?